Okay, so you've probably heard the buzz. A huge new private community from OnPassive has just launched, and it's called Victory with Ash. But here's the thing. This is not your typical everyday launch. No way. This one's strategic, it's super exclusive, and it's all built on a foundation of trust. So let's just dive right in and break down what this whole thing is, how it's rolling out, and what it all really means for the future.
All right, first things first, the big question on everyone's mind, right? What is Victory with Ash? You're hearing the name everywhere, so let's get right to it and get a really clear definition.
So at its heart, Victory with Ash, or VWA as you'll hear it called, is an exclusive, private membership community. And you've got to pay attention to those words, exclusive and private. This is really not some open-to-everyone, free-for-all kind of forum. Think of it more like a carefully curated space. It officially went live back in October 2025, which, by the way, was a massive milestone for the whole OnPassive global movement.
Now, what's super interesting here is how they're actually rolling this out. They didn't just flip a switch and open the floodgates. Not at all. It's really like a masterclass in controlled growth. It all kicked off in October with a really strategic test phase, just for a hand-picked group. Now, here in November, we're seeing that controlled expansion ramp up. And the plan for the future? Well, it's all about gradual, organized onboarding for anyone who wants in. See, the whole idea isn't about getting big fast, it's about getting strong first.
Okay, so let's talk about that first wave of members. I mean, the foundation of any strong community, really, is the people who are there at the very beginning, right? And you can tell VWA took this super seriously, with an incredibly deliberate approach to building its core group. I mean, just think about this for a second. The very first people in, they were not chosen at random. They were actually hand-selected from a pool of, get this, hundreds of thousands of applicants. That's just wild. And it tells you two things right off the bat. First, the demand to get in is absolutely massive. And second, the whole selection process was built to find people who were already on board, perfectly aligned with the community's vision from the get-go.
And this whole thing wasn't just, a simple beta test for a new platform. Not even close. This selective first step was really framed as the first real, visible move towards what the founders are calling the big, bold, beautiful shared dream. So what that does is it sets the tone right away. Joining VWA isn't just about getting access to some service, it's about being part of a much, much bigger mission.
Okay, so you've got your founding members. They're in. What's next? Well, you need the rules of the road, the principles. Because, let's be honest, a community without any principles is really just a mob, right? A crowd. And that's why the VFIA launch put such a huge emphasis on building that foundation of trust and stability from day one.
So, what are the absolute non-negotiables for every single member? Well, it all starts with the tech. The platform has to be stable, secure, and working perfectly. That's table stakes. But after that, it's all about the people, the human side of things. We're talking clear communication systems and a code of conduct that everyone understands and follows. That's what keeps the whole thing positive and functional. And then there's the big one, strict confidentiality. And believe me, as we're about to see, this is about way more than just keeping secrets.
And here is where it gets really clever. That whole confidentiality rule, it wasn't just a rule, it was a test of trust. The early members were told very clearly, hey, don't share the daily updates publicly. Simple, right? But the ones who actually followed that instruction proved they could be trusted. That one simple request became this incredibly powerful filter to find out who was reliable, who could actually be counted on to help grow the community the right way. Honestly, it's a genius move.
All right, so this brings us to the million-dollar question, the one you're probably all thinking right now. With all this talk about being exclusive and needing trust, how on earth does anyone actually get in? Let's break down the exact path to becoming a member of the Victory with Ash community.
So the whole process, and this is key, is built on that foundation of trust we keep talking about. It is strictly invitation only. And here's the kicker. Those invites aren't coming from some corporate office. Nope. They come directly from existing, trusted members. That means patience is absolutely crucial. So while yes, the community is technically open to anyone in the public, the only way in is through that personal invitation link from someone who's already on the inside.
And I've got to say, I absolutely love this quote, because it just flips the whole idea of waiting for an invite on its head. It's not about sitting back and waiting. The advice is to inspire someone to send you that link. You've got to show your quality, show your dedication, your desire to learn. Basically, you don't just get an invite, you earn it. You prove that you're the kind of person who's going to make the community better.
Okay, so let's say you've earned your way in. What's the point? What's the big picture here?
What is this global community actually trying to build together? Let's pull the camera back a bit and look at the ultimate vision, the shared goal that's driving this whole thing.
The whole vision comes down to building a community on 5 key pillars. And it's so much more than just tech. It's about creating a culture of real optimism and active cooperation, not just being a name on a member list. It's about building an environment where everyone is working towards shared success, not just their own. And what holds it all together? Well, it's those foundational principles we've been talking about this whole time: trust, and the discipline to live by the community's values in every single thing you do.
And this final quote from the announcement, wow, it just perfectly captures the whole vibe of this launch. It's all about momentum and making very deliberate progress. You know, this isn't a mad dash to the finish line. It's more like the careful, steady construction of a shared future. It's happening one person, one step, and yeah, one victory at a time. It's pretty powerful stuff when you think about it.
So, to wrap this all up, it leaves us with one last, really interesting question to chew on. We live in an online world that's all about moving fast, getting huge numbers, and sometimes chaos. So is this different approach, this slow, trust-based, invite-only model, is this the new blueprint for building online communities that are actually strong, purpose-driven, and built to last? It's definitely something to think about, for sure.